around the world are reading the headline, getting the information, and they're wondering to themselves, how can this even happen? How can the deputy president of a country be blocked at an airport, refused to leave the country? How does that happen? Well, there's a very important piece of information that the rest of the world may not have. And it is this: that person blocked at the airport, that very important person, may be the deputy president on paper, but in reality, they are the leader of the unofficial opposition. Now, I find it super fascinating that this heated debate over this drama that unfolded at the Wilson Airport in Nairobi, the second largest airport in the capital city, I find it very fascinating and indeed instructive that the issue moved very quickly from why was the deputy president stopped from leaving the country to what was the deputy president going to do in Uganda. And clearly, it was not an accident. This did not happen by accident. I want to draw your attention to the developments in the media, and especially in the mainstream media, in the backdrop of the drama that was the Wilson Airport and the deputy president unable to leave Kenya. And since not all of us are journalists, I want to give you an important piece of information before we proceed. Traditionally in Kenya, newspaper headlines have been made by something called a press release. You have something topical happening, and then one of the camps releases a press statement. It is sent to newsrooms, to the media. And then the other side, the next day, releases a press statement. The other side in this drama. So what happens in those 2 days is that day one, press release from camp number 1 is the headline. And on day 2, press release from camp number 2 makes it to the front page. And meanwhile, the newspaper is selling like hotcakes. Because everybody wants to know what happened. Everybody is interested in this story. However, these press releases and these headlines do not bring clarity to the issue, which is okay for the newspaper, because they want to work this particular story for as long as possible. Sell copies of the newspaper. So, let's dive into what happened here. The first thing that happened is that the flight manifest, that is the list of the people who are supposed to travel with the deputy president on that flight, was released to the media. Now, bear in mind that this is not a document. You walk into Wilson Airport, and somebody makes a quick photocopy for you. No. Especially if the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya is on that flight manifest. So, we have to believe that that list of passengers who were supposed to travel with the deputy president was released to the media for a very good reason. In my opinion, the reason was the Turkish national on that list. But my attention was quickly drawn to the other name on the same list, which I've marked, and you can see on your screens right now. Who is this? Well, if you're a regular subscriber of my weekly intelligence briefings, you will immediately recognize that name. Let me just use one phrase to illustrate that name. SGR. Let me just leave it at that. Now, let us not even go into the issue of who this Turkish man is. Because in my view, there is an even bigger issue before we go there. Think about it. The deputy president of a country is making a foreign trip accompanied by a foreign national using taxpayers' funds. Ulisikia wapi? We niambie. Ulisikia wapi? In my view, this alone is a matter of national security. Because you have the president in waiting, the deputy president. Because if anything happens to the president, God forbid, the deputy president automatically takes over as president of the Republic of Kenya. You know, when you hold certain offices, you cannot do what you want to do. There's so many personal things that you'd love to do when you hold these offices that you cannot do. Anyway, let's quickly move on. And then the other side of the political divide, the other side in this issue, also issued their own press release. Most fascinating. And the contents of this press release were to explain to us in detail the agenda, the reason why the deputy president was going to Uganda, which we were told with a straight face was benchmarking, learning political tips from President Yoweri Museveni, who has been in power as president of Uganda for a very long time. And we're even told that Team Tangatanga was also especially interested in President Yoweri Museveni's intelligence system. Yeah, how he gets intel, how he gets information, because he has survived all these years by being 2-3 steps ahead of his opponents. Yeah, he already knows what they're planning before they even finalize their plans. Now, a quick aside, yeah, and I'm sure you'll be interested in this. This information about how good Yoweri Museveni's intelligence is 100% true. And I have a personal experience to prove it. Years ago, I and a colleague, I was working for a business magazine in Kenya, made a business trip to Uganda. And immediately we landed in Entebbe and contacted our office back in Nairobi. Yeah, those days there were no mobile phones. We were told that an urgent message had been received from one of our would-be clients for us to call back urgently. Yeah, and they had left a number. And so we called that number. And this person was very eager to meet us. But strangely enough, this person had no office. Yeah, he wanted us to meet at a hotel. They had this excuse. Yeah, I don't quite remember. I think it was something about the office being renovated and being completely inaccessible temporarily. Yeah, so we had to meet in a hotel. We were actually doing a survey of the rapidly rising Ugandan economy at that time. Yeah, this was in the 90s. And when we met this man, my colleague got very excited, yeah, and got into the interview right away. Not me, yeah, for the simple reason, nilipanguzwa makamasi nikiwa mtoto na maaskari. I grew up with all kinds of cops and intelligence officers around me. And so the second I saw this person, I immediately knew this was not a businessman. This was somebody looking for information about the real reason why we were visiting Uganda. Anyway, this is a story that we were given. But hold on a minute. Let's go back to the flight manifest and the people who traveled with the deputy president. A Turkish national accompanying the deputy president on a benchmarking tour? Really? Okay, sawa. Then the other name I marked on the list, a business person, a money person, traveling with the deputy president on a benchmarking tour, a political benchmarking tour. Kweli? Clearly, the deputy president's camp, in response to the other side, which was trying to give the press information, was very eager, very determined, were ready to go out of their way to reveal to us secrets about why they were visiting Uganda. Actually to camouflage the real reason why they were visiting Uganda. Now, we didn't ask. Why would somebody be so eager to camouflage, take us in a different direction, so that nobody dares go to the correct direction about the real reason for that visit? Why would they want to do that? The answer should be obvious. They are terrified, scared out of their wits of us ever discovering, ever mentioning the real reason for their visit to Uganda. And I put it to you, their real mission to Uganda was the reason why the deputy president was blocked at the airport by the president of the Republic of Kenya from traveling to Uganda. Pure and simple. And this real reason, I find it very fascinating, and I'm humbled that this reason was there in black and white in Weekly Intelligence Briefings number 62, which was released before this deputy president drama at Wilson Airport. Let me just leave it at that, and I apologize. Please bear with me. Highly sensitive, that information. Now I want to draw your attention to the tactics of the president's team. Remember the big maneno that came out of the fact that the president refused to sanction the appointment of some judges? Remember that saga? The judges were blocked from taking up new positions. And then, if I can quickly remind you, the judiciary blocked the president's report on the said judges. The reason why he had refused to okay the appointment. The judiciary blocked that information from going out to the public. And then more recently, we saw another drama where some judges were taken in for questioning by the DCI. Taken in for questioning. But of course the headline screamed, arrested. We don't know which is which. But you remember that saga. I also want to remind you the fact that somebody investigating you or investigating something linked to you can easily call you, come to your office, or book an appointment to meet somewhere else, and then they field the questions they have for you. They don't need to come and pick you up, and take you to the DCI to question you. They don't need to do that. Anyway, we are talking about tactics. So, we come back to the present. Somebody is blocked at the airport. And then, information is released about the list of passengers who are supposed to travel with the deputy president. And then the victims of the whole saga start to get very busy, telling us the reason for their visit, the visit which was blocked. Can you put two and two together? I'm sure you can. You're intelligent. Indeed, you're more intelligent than you think. The only problem for some of us is that we read things in the papers, from respected national media houses, and we put it away in our minds as the gospel truth. And you really can't blame many of us. People are busy. Yeah, they have to put food on the table. They're busy at their jobs. They don't have time to stop and think, to stop and analyze. Yeah, indeed, that is why I'm here. Indeed, singekuwa na job if people had the time to sit down and think for themselves. Singekuwa na job. True story. So I guess I should be grateful. I'm telling you. Folks, in short, what is unfolding before us is a political chess game. And I'll tell you something more. The people who set this political chess game in motion have only one objective. Yeah, and they're very determined to achieve that objective. The objective is that at the end of a few moves, they will look up at the deputy president and shout those famous words, "Checkmate." Now, I appreciate there are very few people who play that game, that board game, called chess, which we are told is for thinkers. President Donald Trump, we are told, is a guru at that game. And the man is a genius. Hate him or like him. So, kunaendanga hivyo. Saa ile umeshinda, unaambia huyo mwingine, checkmate. Folks, this chess game has just started. Brace yourself for even more drama. Of the drama, bin drama, Arab drama kind. By the way, have you caught my landmark video on the 1982 coup? Ujaiona? Now, I highly recommend, if you have about 3/4 of an hour to spare, rush, go and take it in. I have put a link to it in the description area below this video on YouTube for your convenience. Let us reduce the number of Kenyans analyzing politics, Kenyan politics, who do not understand the nation called Kenya. Because in the year 1982, something very critical changed in Kenya that is difficult to unchange. That means it still affects us. Today, 1982. And that is why I would highly recommend that if you happen to have some spare 1982 Kenya shillings somewhere, take advantage of our latest special offer to get the weekly intelligence briefings, where you'll also discover a lot of other things that will help you understand the nation called Kenya much better.